Hunger cues are super important when you get rid of your food rules and are becoming an intuitive eater. They help us guide how much to eat so that we can get rid of measuring spoons and food scales. They help us to be able to enjoy the more soul-nourishing foods in a way that still allows our body to feel good. They are our own internal portion control, if you will, but so often I hear people utter those words, and I've uttered them too, of I don't have hunger cues, or I just don't trust them, or I don't listen to them. So in order for you to know how to go about fixing that, you gotta learn what caused your current situation. So in this video, I'm gonna go over 6 common reasons why your hunger cues are messed up so that you can identify which one is the case for you, and then you can go about focusing on how to get them back and actually being able to listen to your body. Now, before we get into it, I want to let you know about something. If you are watching this video because you want to learn more about how to honor your hunger and fullness cues to avoid endless eating and bottomless binges, or maybe because you want to know how to regulate your food intake without calorie counters or meal plans or measuring spoons, then you're in luck. I'm teaching all of this in a live training. Now, if you've ever done one of these live trainings with me before, you know I spill all of the tea. I don't hold back. I don't like to waste time. So in this free training, we're gonna go over how exactly to avoid over and under eating for good. No more ping-ponging back and forth between the two. You're gonna learn why you want to eat even when you're not necessarily feeling hungry. Your mind doesn't stop thinking about food, right? Been there. You're also gonna learn why you want to eat past fullness even if you know you're full, and you're also gonna understand why it's important to think about what foods that you're eating so that it can help you stay feeling full and satisfied for longer. Gentle nutrition totally does play a role in our hunger and fullness cues. I'll share more about exactly how you can join this free training after I go through the 6 reasons of why your hunger cues are messed up. So be sure to stick around to the end to see that. Right now, you can sign up for this training absolutely free, but it's only for a limited time, and you seriously do not want to miss this. This is probably the most requested topic that I have ever talked about, and you're gonna get an exclusive invite at the end of this video. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into those 6 reasons. Okay, so the first reason that your hunger cues are messed up is because you are undereating. It's common for our bodies to lose the ability for them to give us hunger signals after years of dieting, following food rules, and restricting food. So here I have an analogy for you. Let's pretend that you and your BFF are texting away, and then all of a sudden you stop responding to her, right? You're ignoring her. She gets frustrated, then stops texting you. So you guys stop talking. Okay. Then you decide one day that you want to be friends with her again. So you shoot her a text. They're probably going to think, who is this flaky person? I'm not responding to them. They're just going to think you're going to ghost them again. You won't regain her trust with one text. You have to nurture that friendship. So you have to show them that you aren't going anywhere and that you will listen to what they have to say. The more that you keep showing up for them, even when there isn't a response on the other end, they might start to warm up to you, right? And they'll start to respond to your text. And eventually, after nurturing that friendship, a healthy friendship and communication can start again. Fabulous. The same thing happens with our hunger cues. You might not have hunger cues right now, or maybe they're not super strong. If that's the case, sometimes you have to use what I teach called practical hunger in order to nurture those hunger cues. Once you show it, like, hey body, I'm taking care of you, I'm here for you, your body can start talking to you again. Okay, your hunger cues will wake up and then you'll be able to follow them more. One of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they think that they can just start following their hunger cues, when in reality, we need to first get them back so that we have something to follow. We need to focus on nourishing our bodies with what they need so that they can start talking to us again. That means giving your body enough overall energy and also not restricting macronutrients like carbs and fat. The second reason why your hunger cues are all wonky and unreliable could be because you are overeating. So essentially everything that we just discussed can also apply to not just restriction, but also eating past fullness. Bottom line, if we aren't listening to our bodies, they can just stop giving us cues, or we don't just register those cues. The third reason may be because you are overwhelmed with emotion. Okay, maybe it is stress, anxiety, depression, when your sympathetic nervous system is in high gear as in with anxiety, for example, your body is not necessarily prioritizing digestion. Your anxiety might pump the brakes on your hunger, and now nothing sounds good. That's one way that this can play out. And as an intuitive eating dietitian, I know that sometimes the simplest message that we receive all the time of eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full, sometimes that can feel like the most difficult thing. And while this message is, yes, a big part of intuitive eating, it is a skill set that requires a lot of unlearning of diet culture practices and patience. Now, during those times of high emotion, this could even be high happy emotions. Sometimes we need to not lean on the hunger cues that we usually think of, like tummy grumbles, but instead something like I've talked about before called practical hunger, which is the skill of knowing what your body needs, regardless of if it has those biological tummy grumble cues or not. The fourth reason could be because you're overscheduled. Maybe you are forgetting to eat because you're too focused on other things and you're not noticing hunger cues. For example, maybe it's been a busy day and the next thing you know, it's lunchtime. So you just shovel the food into your mouth without even being able to register your hunger or fullness cues. This is very, very common. And there are tactics that you can use to address this, such as the practical hunger that we've talked about, but also some self-care assessment might be needed. No, not like are you taking bubble baths, but more so are you meeting your biological needs. I talked about our biological needs in another video where I explained my chocolate cake incident, and I explained how our biological needs are always going to win. So take a look at that video if you haven't. You may need to make some adjustments. The fifth reason you may not have strong hunger cues is because you're on medications that maybe blunt or amplify your hunger cues. Now, some medications might blunt your appetite, and this is not a complete list, but a few examples can be ADHD medications, certain antidepressants, and antibiotics, especially if they're causing diarrhea or other tummy troubles. Now, just know that if you are feeling like it isn't as simple as, again, just eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full, know that you're not alone and you can reconnect with yourself and your hunger. Which brings us to the next reason. The last reason why you're feeling like your hunger cues got messed up is because you are looking for the wrong cues, okay? What most people think hunger is, it's this rumbling in our tummy. Yes, that can be a hunger cue, but there are far more hunger cues than that. Now, the key to getting strong hunger and fullness cues, to get them being nice and strong and reliable, depends on which of these reasons is causing you your lack of cues. And spoiler alert, it can be a mix of those things. The key to remember here is that there are 4 types of hunger, and depending on which one of these is the reason for you not having your cues will depend on which type of hunger you focus on. So the 4 types of hunger are biological, practical, emotional, and taste hunger, so those cravings. So, for example, for someone who has no hunger cues due to giving their body not enough energy, i.e. dieting, they'll need to focus on likely biological hunger, getting our bodies out of a place of dieting and restriction and getting them to a place of nourishment. If someone is having issues with hunger cues due to being overscheduled, they'll likely need to focus on practical hunger, such as setting reminders to eat. And if someone has no cues because of continual overeating, maybe they need to focus more on attunement to emotional eating and hunger and taste hunger to be able to find their way to honoring their actual hunger cues. Now, we have just hit the tip of the iceberg here, but I hope that this gave you some insight into why your hunger cues might have ran for the hills. And if you're feeling a little lost on how to exactly go about fixing the issue that caused your hunger cues to go all haywire, don't worry, I've got your back with that free training. I'm going to go into detail on exactly how to do that. In this live training, I'm, like I said, spilling all of the tea. I don't hold back. My guess is that you are fed up with diet culture and are really wanting to find food freedom and have maybe likely dabbled in this yourself, but you're wondering if this whole idea of not having food rules can actually work for you. To be able to eat in a way that feels good, both mentally and physically, with no restrictions. To be able to have donuts on the counter and not obsess over them or binge eat them, but instead to eat them in a way without feeling guilty and in a way that feels good to your body. To be able to want to eat veggies and not view them as a diety food, but most importantly, if you're feeling like you are wanting to get your life back, this training is for you. If you want to be able to live in the moment and create memories without obsessing over food or being MIA because you have a food coma, this is for you. The intuitive eating movement is absolutely exploding, and after trying to dip your toes into the water for long enough, if you are ready to wade a little bit deeper, I've got you. Maybe you've been trying to listen to your hunger and fullness cues for a while without actually feeling like you are getting it. I've been there. You're not honoring your hunger cues. Maybe you're eating way past fullness. Maybe you are eating all of the cookies and you just feel like you can't stop. If you're ready for an actual play-by-play of how to go about actually doing this and making it work for you, then you're going to want to sign up for this training, because that is exactly what I am going to show you. I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid over and under eating so that you can eat in a way that feels good, no longer ping-ponging between the two. You're going to learn why you obsess over food and why you want to eat even when you're not feeling hungry. You're going to understand how to feel your fullness and not want to automatically clean your plate no matter how full you feel. And you're also going to learn more about gentle nutrition and how that does absolutely play a role in our ability to feel our hunger and fullness cues, to honor them, and for us to feel full longer, because we don't have time for feeling hungry every 5 minutes, right? This is gonna be absolutely amazing. So if you are wanting to learn how to listen to your body, but don't really know how to go about doing that, then this is for you. This is the best training that I have ever put together, and I have years of experience in the non-diet space and really figuring out a structured roadmap for you to follow so that you can actually let go of your food rules while still eating in a way that feels good both mentally and physically. Right now, this training is free for a limited time, but it's not gonna last. It is not gonna be free forever. So if you want to get in on this, be sure that you sign up ASAP. The link is below, so go sign up, save your spot, and be sure to put this on your calendar. If you sign up for this and you forget to attend, you are gonna throw a temper tantrum, and we don't want that. So make sure that you reserve your spot, then put it on your calendar so that you have a reminder. So right now, pause this, go to the description, save your seat for the training. We do have a capacity for the room, and like I said, this is only going to be a free training for a limited amount of time, and I don't want you to miss it. If you can't make it live, don't worry, that's okay. I will send you the replay, but you have to be signed up for me to send that to you, okay? I cannot wait to see you there. Leave a comment on this video if you do sign up so that I can keep an eye out for you on the training. I would love to see you there. So take a second right now, seriously, pause this, sign up. We all say we'll get around to it later, and we don't. I see you. After that, be sure, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, be sure that you are. Hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video is uploaded, which is every single Thursday. So with that, I will see you guys back next Thursday with another video, and I will see you on the training, I hope. So thank you guys for being a part of the No Food Rules community. I hope this video was helpful and it helps you understand more of why your hunger and fullness cues got all messed up to begin with, and I hope it helps you understand how to go about getting them back on track, okay? See you in another video.